Good evening. Welcome to SEC Baseball Reaction. It is Thursday night, the opening night of SEC Weekend Play on week number 6. Happy Easter weekend, everybody. Joined by Graham Doty, Alfred Esmond. We've got 3 games in the books. I believe we got another game that could go in the books literally any second, and 2-headed delayed innings. Here's what we got so far. South Carolina started the night beating Ole Miss 3-2. Vanderbilt was the second team to finish, knocking off Georgia 3-1. Texas beat Auburn 3-2 in a game that was interesting, not just for on-field, but some off-field developments. Same for Georgia there, too, by the way. We got Oklahoma will be putting the finishing touches on Missouri. It is up 16-4 as I look. LSU has come from behind to go ahead of Alabama in a game that was pretty hotly contested. And did they turn it? They sure did. Unless this gets overturned on replay. A&M has just turned a double play to knock off Arkansas. Unless replay overturns this, the Aggies will have taken game 1 in Fayetteville. Gentlemen, what stands out to you guys tonight? I'll let Graham. He's got his eyes on the TV watching when I'm watching too, aren't you?
Well, first of all, you guys are like 45 seconds ahead of me. I haven't even seen the double play or potential double play.
He
yet.
might be safe.
Okay, I just now watched it. So yeah, they're definitely gonna review it.
Yeah.
But a lot stands out to me. I guess let's touch on the first game of the day. Ole Miss, South Carolina. They were the first game of the day. Only game in the Eastern Time Zone, by the way, which is why that was the first game of the day. Yeah, so went out to eat with my whole family. Looked down and it's like, geez, this game is already in the 7th inning. Like this. What's rule number 101 in the press box? You don't say, man, this game is flying by.
Right.
And when I saw that, I was like, golly, this game is on cruise control. If you're Ole Miss, very, very frustrating game. The talking point, and it's going to be enormous moving forward. Mason Morris.
Yeah.
He has been so good, guys. Like his last 12 innings, he has not allowed an earned run. So his role this season is pretty much he's been piggybacking off of Hunter Elliott. Elliott was okay tonight, but he hasn't gone 6 innings yet in an SEC outing. So the noise is going to be loud. Are we going to see a move? Meaning, like, are we going to see Mason Morris be a starter now? And like, do they move Hunter Elliott to Saturday? Do they put him in the bullpen? Like, Hunter Elliott is a baseball god for the Ole Miss fans for what he did. He was a big reason why Ole Miss won the national championship. He's royalty. He's always going to be, loved, cherished, respected, all that stuff. But Mason Morris is just on a different level right now. Now for South Carolina, you got to give Stone credit. Stone, his ERA was above 10. And, I mean, I didn't think the approach was good offensively for Ole Miss tonight, but you got to give Stone credit. He was a big-time difference maker. He didn't walk anybody. He didn't throw a lot of pitches. I mean, Ole Miss went up there, swinging at anything and everything, just putting things in play. Like, Luke Hill saw under 8 pitches in his 4 plate appearances tonight. So it's a big win for South Carolina. And right now, this is the biggest slump of the season for Ole Miss, if you want to call it that. So you lose to Tennessee, you lose the midweek to Little Rock, and then you start this weekend with this loss. The pitching definitely good enough to win, and it's just frustrating because Morris has been so good on the mound for Ole Miss, and his last 3 outings, he's never thrown a single pitch with the lead. So, like, every time he's been out there, it's either tied or Ole Miss is losing.
But by the way, quick update from Fayetteville. The double play got overturned, and Kendall Diggs followed with the hit to center. So Charles Davalon, the tying run at the plate out in Fayetteville tonight. Just an update. Stone had a 5.73 ERA coming into the day. I think the 10 might have been SEC games, but nobody saw an 86-pitch complete game coming. I mean, like we previewed that series. Okay, A&M has finally won this one now with the ground ball to second that got him out. Yeah, I don't think we mentioned Brandon Stone's name except to say he's starting tonight.
Exactly. I think you got a better chance of finding Bigfoot than a complete game with
Yeah.
80 pitches nowadays at any level of baseball.
Yeah.
Odd stat line too for an 86 pitch complete game, right? I mean, he gave up 6 hits and only struck out 4 batters in 9 innings. That usually to me does not, say that he's going to have less than 90 pitches and go through the entire game. So you're really going to take this if you're South Carolina. Good thing for Ole Miss, though, and Graham, I think you could second me on this. Foley continues to be really good offensively. He homered again tonight. Although, and then Mitchell Sanford homered too. But outside of that, like you said, just nothing offensively for Ole Miss. And Brandon Stone wasn't exactly striking everyone out, with only 4 strikeouts. So
that's the approach was just so bizarre tonight. They just weren't taking pitches. Like, this is an Ole Miss team that leads the SEC in walks, like offensively, and they didn't walk a single time tonight.
Stone had I think 15 ground ball outs, and that's that. Alfred, there's your answer to how do you get out of.
Yeah,
I don't know if there was a double play ball in there or 2, but
3. They got 3 double plays.
3 to okay. Well, there you go. Get the 2 for 1's always nice. I want to move on next because we got a few other games. But Graham, I saw them bring Morris in. I thought, man, I don't know about that. You're down a run in somebody else's ballpark, and you might want to have him later when it's, I don't know, 4-2 and it's the 6th inning. Like he can get you through and get you one of those games. I thought when Mike Bianco brought him in, I don't know that's the spot that you use him.
Well, I mean, but that's been his role all season long. So he's shot. He's not going tomorrow, and then who knows if it's a close game on Sunday. Can you go to him again? I think he ended up at 28 pitches or around 30. So I don't think he'll go tomorrow, but maybe game 3. But again, that's just what is the message boards for Ole Miss fans. It's just this is the number 1 topic right now: how to handle Morris.
Let's flip to Texas and Auburn. I'd say maybe the game of the night, but I mean, there's been a lot of really good ball games, but that probably would get my vote. Weird one there. Texas gets the win, so you're happy about that. Dylan Volantis and Max Grubbs were phenomenal in relief, and the reason they were phenomenal in relief is because Jared Spencer went out with 2 outs in the 3rd, having given up a couple of runs. Ike Irish had a 2-run home run early in that. Sam Dutton did Sam Dutton things. The bullpen held him. But I think that's the big thing. Texas gets the win, and now we worry about what happened with Max Grubbs. And I don't really have anything there. I saw that there were multiple tweets saying he'd been pulled with what appeared to be an injury. Do we know anything beyond that? Not Grubbs. I'm sorry. Jared Spencer was the one that got hurt.
Spencer.
Excuse me.
I'm sure Sloss will get asked about it after the game. It was kind of weird. His reaction on the mound was weird. He just looked shocked. He looked like he was in disbelief. Athletic went out there and he pulled the move. When he was done, he put his glove over his face, and you could tell he was clearly frustrated. So I hope that it's nothing serious at all. But for Texas, one reason why we like them so much is when you have a guy like Grubbs, what a weapon he is. He wasn't banking on going out there that early, and he the dude just eats innings and just gets everybody out. And he's a big reason why Texas is number 1 in the country.
Volantis threw 20 pitches as well. That might be good enough to have him available for Sunday.
Yeah, he's untouchable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bear Jones just hit a home run.
Yeah, that LSU game came unraveled on Alabama pretty quickly. We'll get to that one in a bit, but yeah, I mean, I think Texas's bullpen has been probably the top one in the league so far. It's not maybe the deepest with arms that you see a lot. Although it's pretty good.
They got the 2 best guys.
They've got so many guys who can go deep. They can throw you 50, 60 pitches more. I mean, Grubbs was a starter. I think Grubbs was a weekend starter for them all year last year. That's before they were in the SEC. But I was a little surprised when I was kind of looking at them before the years, like, why is Grubbs coming out of the pen? Because he was so good. But, it's working for them. And I think that guy's really valuable. Like, every game with Texas is a close game in the middle innings.
Yeah.
And when you can just lock it down with the arms they've got and just say, I'm going to put you in. If Volantis they'll put in, they'll let him close a couple innings. They can put Grubbs in, let him go, 3, 4, 5 if he needs. That is so valuable right now.
Yeah.
I hope for Texas fans' sake, and I'm sure they agree, I hope Jared Spencer's okay, though. I don't know what that will look like if they don't have him on Friday night. If it's worst of the worst, because he's as good as really anybody on Friday nights. So,
did we see what happened? I was channel flipping and I flipped over and he had just gone to the dugout. So I did not see, like, was he holding the forearm, the elbow? What was the deal?
I mean, like he just looked like he was shocked. So, like, if you go on social media, you'll see the video. Like, Sloss came out, infield came out, athletic trainer came out. And I mean, like, once he left the mound, it's just glove to the face.
Hate to hear that.
Like a lot of hot takes, one way or the other, on Texas.
Josh is not impressed.
My goodness,
Josh is not impressed with the #1 team in the country, apparently.
Also, like, if Texas wins this series, name me another team that's going to have a better resume than them.
None.
Hey, look. Texas has really grown on me. I get that Texas is not putting up the offensive fireworks that other teams are. But my goodness, when's the last time the bullpen blew a game for Texas? You guys tell me.
Not many that I could think of, at least not in SEC play.
Yeah.
So, and also offensively, the whole focus with them is how they play without Max Ballou and Ethan Mendoza. Go figure. He had a great night. Kimball Schuessler with a big home run as well. Jalen Flores with a huge double. Again, if the offensive attack continues to be spread out like this, and it's not just one guy, they're going to be able to thrive without Max Ballou. They will, and they have to this point. So, they got to, if they keep that up, that is perfect. And it worked well enough to get them the win in a very unfortunate situation with Jarrett Spencer. So great stuff there tonight from Texas. And if you're Auburn, man, you really wanted to take this, right? Because I know you could still obviously get wins based on how competitive it was tonight, but you definitely wanted to steal that Friday night game to set a tone, and you just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do Texas, A&M, Arkansas, then we'll go Vanderbilt, Georgia, and then the other two games are still being played, although Oklahoma being up 17-4. That one will get run ruled any minute now. Well, it's in the 8th, so now, okay, that one's final now. But let's go A&M, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma in that order, and then we'll wait for LSU, Alabama to finish as LSU continues to create separation there. Who wants to take A&M, Arkansas? I saw that one off and on.
I'll start. The story for me is Weston Moss, guys. That was insane what he was doing out of the bullpen. And the great part for A&M here is your bullpen is open going forward. I mean, you only used him to end this game. Ryan Prager, too, pretty excellent stuff. I know he gave up the 4 earned runs, but he ate 4 of the innings against this tough Arkansas lineup, which is in the end what matters. And, it's shocking to me that Arkansas loses this game with Davalon, Aloy, and Justin Thomas all getting multiple hits. So there were some people wondering what happened with Arkansas tonight. I just don't think they had an answer for Weston Moss in the end. And they got to Prager a little bit, but Prager, I think, gets his due credit a little bit for eating up innings like he did. And I think that the Jay Slaviolette homer there late really kind of sealed the deal on this one. And the win came out from Arkansas a little bit, although they did have the tying run come to the plate. Nonetheless, all of these games are going to be great, and this one was tonight, but it works in A&M's favor. And Weston Moss, if they give out a game ball, game whatever, he's going to get it.
Yeah, he was outstanding, and then you also got to give Carter for Arkansas props as well. I mean, he didn't give up a run in his 4 innings in relief. Arkansas, a team known for defense, like they had 2 errors, costly errors that led to runs in this one. I just kind of think A&M was the better team tonight. And, I mean, this is an A&M team. This is now 8 wins in a row. So, obviously something is working. Like, they've definitely turned the corner that doubleheader day in Knoxville. And this is kind of who we thought A&M would be pretty much all season. So, A&M looks really, really good. But we all picked Arkansas for a reason. I'm curious to see what the next 2 games look like.
The bad news, I think, for A&M is using Moss. He is hands down their best bullpen arm, so you don't have that the rest of the weekend. The good news is you got Lampkin and Patton who can go deep into games and be effective. But beyond that, you're looking at maybe Rudis, Gavin Lyons, Grant Cunningham. So, I mean, there's still some guys there, but that's hands down your best guy. Also, I'm looking to see where A&M went in the RPI after this one tonight. I believe it was 51 coming in. Okay, it's now 44. So A&M is moving in 7-9 in the league. Like right now, you pick the field. A&M is, I think, in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Justin Thomas did play. He was one of their better hitters tonight. Also, guys, Zach Root, probably one of his most underwhelming starts, at least in SEC play, if not all of this season. He had a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's true from what Hunter just said, like that is really, really good news for Texas.
I hope so.
Yeah. Big relief.
Let's see. Laviolette got a home run late in that one. Only got 1 hit. Let's see. I mean, it wasn't an offensive fireworks night. The 1 home run, the other one in the game being Vahiva Laloy hitting 1. Other than that, like you said, Zach Root, not the best of Zach Root nights. Dylan Carter kind of held him over. And then I guess A&M just using 2 arms, as we said. Davalon was 2 for 4 tonight. What's he hitting now, guys?
Let me look it up.
Let's see.
Definitely above 300.
383.
Well, yeah. Okay.
383.
Right.
Do we have anybody hitting 400 at this point? I don't think we do.
Somebody from Georgia doing it?
Let's see.
You go to the best website.
Zaborowski was hitting 405 coming in tonight. And boy, there's a talking point with that one. We'll get to here in a second. But yeah, I don't know what else to say on that one. Again, very interested to watch the next 2 games. You've got your starting pitching. We gave you the 2 for A&M. Arkansas is going to go. Gage Wood tomorrow, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That one will be worth watching just to see what Gage Wood does. Is that the best arm on the staff? I mean, I know they got a lot of elite ones, but if you had to pick one, is it Gage Wood?
I would like to see him get a few starts in. I would still lean Zach Root even after the night.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what he looks like. Will he have a pitch count? You know, that kind of a thing, and just like how healthy does he look? Those 5-6 weeks, that is a lot of time to miss.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get that. We'll get probably Miles Patton and Beetleshees on Saturday in game 2. Vanderbilt probably with maybe the surprise result of the night. We kind of teased this. Georgia is a team that they can start 9 right-handed hitting power hitters. And Vanderbilt is a right-handed heavy staff. They do have some lefties. They got some balance, but they're better pitchers that throw more are mostly right-handers. But then you look it up, and Georgia's got reverse platoon splits, meaning, righties usually hit better against lefties. They hit better against righties. So tonight, and I was talking to Anthony Dasher, he said, power lefties give Georgia trouble. I don't know if you characterize J.D. Thompson as a power lefty, but when the fastball's more, 91, 92, might touch 94 on a good day. But J.D. Thompson dealt tonight, struck out 14 guys in 8 innings. And Vanderbilt got a Brody Johnson home run. First batter of the game, Slade Alford hit a home run out to left. And you're just watching thinking, it's going to be that kind of night. It was anything but that kind of night because Thompson and Brian Curley were just dealing. Nobody could touch either one of them. And Vanderbilt scored its other 2 runs, guys, on a ground out where the runner scored from second base, an infield ground out, and an infield single where another runner scored from second base. So it was that kind of night. Like if you got a guy in scoring position, you were going all out to take some chances.
Yeah. Yeah. And, kind of a shame for Georgia. I mean, Brian Curley, I think, delivered enough where they usually win with the kind of start he had. I mean, he went, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts. That's very well enough for them to win the game. They just couldn't, they couldn't find any offense. And it was so strange. I mean, Slade Alford homered in the first inning. And I know maybe the Vanderbilt crowd was thinking, oh no, here it comes. And nothing ever happened after that. And Brody Johnson, God, that home run was nuked out to left field over that high wall. And it was from there, Vanderbilt just kept, getting the big hits they needed. Chris, Braden Holcomb starting to come alive too offensively, which is very nice to see. He kind of had the put away run in the 8th inning to make it 3-1 and help them win the game and get extra insurance. Really, really good to see from him in that lineup. And then Sawyer Hawks continues to be, Graham, I think you alluded to him. He like earlier in our previews and stuff, continues to be very good in the end of games for Vandy.
He's got that red hair. He's got the flow. Like he is good. He is fun to watch. I really enjoy watching him pitch. For Georgia, like they didn't get a lot of opportunities, but they just didn't make the most of their chances tonight. Just 1 for 11 with runners on base. They went 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Just the pitching too much tonight for Georgia. Just Vandy on the mound was just sensational tonight.
I think maybe the bigger thing to watch, it's probably not a big thing, but Rylan Zaborowski got hit on, looked like maybe the inside of an ankle on one of those suicide plays. Somebody swung away, hit a chopper that hit him. They took him out of the game in the middle of the defensive inning, and then he was in the dugout with his shoe off. So
he had a tough night. He went 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. He had a night.
A lot of them had rough nights. Henry Hunter 0 for, Trey Phelps I think went 0 for. Who else? Christian Adams 0 for. Nolan McCarthy 0 for 4. I mean, too many guys I think went hitless for them really to win this game, and it was obvious. I mean, look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, I don't think it was a really good night for hitters on either side because those starting pitchers were just, that was one of those, like, you tell sometimes sometimes the pitcher's just kind of hanging on. Somebody will get 2 or 3 really well hit foul balls in an at bat and, line a double to the gap. It was not that kind of night. You won't even get off a lot of swings, on balls you couldn't put in play. So hats off to those starters. Let's see. We got – go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say Josh brings up a point, it's kind of on my mind in the chat. Like, Chris, you bring up the lefty-righty matchups for Georgia. Like, how much do you think it's that versus Georgia home and away?
I would have to really look into it. I mean, like, it was enough. When I looked up the splits today, it was enough for me to ask the guy who covers them like every day. That's Anthony Dash. I don't think there's a guy on earth that knows more Georgia baseball and watches more than Dash. And I just sent him a text, and within a few seconds, like, oh yeah, they struggle with really good lefties for some reason. So I don't know. I mean, look, Georgia there have been some pretty significant home road splits, but at the same time, like, a series at Texas, look at what Texas is doing. Where else have they played? They had that series to open the year on the road in Wilmington where it was 30, 40 mile an hour winds and windy and cold. And so I think there's some other factors in play there too, perhaps. Now remember, let's not forget, they went to Florida and just hit the daylights out of Florida pitching back when Florida was pitching pretty well.
Yeah. The good news for them going forward too, their hard series are at home. They get Oklahoma and Texas A&M at Foley Field for the rest of this year in SEC play. The road series they have are Missouri, which is really good for them, and then Alabama, although that can be a little tough. I think they can easily win that. So we'll have to see. They get Clemson at Doug Kingsmore too. Talk about a tough road game in the midweek next week. So there's a few road tests in there, I think, if any, but it's definitely more favorable for them considering who they have at home. So if that point about Georgia outside of Foley Field is true, it's not. I don't think it's going to affect them how much because of what their schedule looks like. So they lucked out if Josh, what you're saying is true.
Well, and that's kind of a half truth, right? It's 310 down the line to right, I think. So it should play on paper as a lefty power haven. And Wes Johnson's pretty smart. They recruit to, all kinds of stuff. They try to have guys for every situation. It is a right-handed dominant team. And every time I watch their guys, I think it's 350 down the line to left, but boy, does it get out in a hurry. I mean, they feed the trees in left. So it's kind of a weird park.
Good lingo there, Chris. Good Georgia lingo there. Feed the trees.
Feed the trees. Oh, I've watched enough to know. Everybody needs to go to a game in Foley Field. Just a beautiful place to see one.
Dude, I got the numbers here if you want them. Georgia, this is SEC games only. Against lefties, Georgia as a team is batting 226. Against righties, they're 303.
Yeah. What's the slugging?
Hold on. Let's see if they even have it. They don't have it.
Okay. The NCAA stats are kind of suspect, I think, with that. But let's see. Texas has got, I guess that series they would have started Spencer, who's a lefty, Harrison, who's a lefty, and Riojas, who's a righty. And then they probably would have seen, without looking, plenty of grubs. And I don't know. Well, I mean, okay, Volantis would have thrown in that series, and I wonder if they used Bing. Bing's been a midweek guy. So, I don't know. They probably saw a lot of Spencer and Harrison. Those are two lefties. Volantis they would have definitely seen. So maybe that's how Texas managed them. I don't know.
Also, moving forward, you got to put the two UTs together. Like, make it happen, SEC schedule makers.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, we've got Oklahoma, Missouri. I have not checked the final box on that. Last I looked, Cade Crossland was pretty good. And look, I know Missouri is not good, but Missouri can hit a little bit. And that's Crossland's second really good start in a row. He's a lefty who can, bump 97 if he needs to. Got good breaking stuff. JUCO guy that looked like he was going to be a starter for them coming in the year. Fell out of the rotation and kind of got back in last week when they needed a Thursday guy. And when Witherspoon had let's see, did they start that series last week, Thursday or Friday? I don't remember.
Which one?
But Vanderbilt. Okay, that was a Friday series. But here's the thing: it wasn't a days thing. It was a Witherspoon had back spasms. That's why they went Crossland in slot one. I'm talking in circles. My apologies. Anyway, point I'm getting at is that's two great starts for Cade Crossland, who now gives him another option in the rotation, along with Malachi Witherspoon, who's been elite, or Kyson's been elite. Malachi was good last week for a short stretch, and then it fell apart. But the Sooners really hit tonight. Trey Gamble, 2 home runs. Missouri now 0-16.
Yeah, guys, the bullpen for Missouri tonight, yuck. 6 earned runs from Brock Lucas, Seth McCartney 4 earned runs, Ben Smith 4 earned runs. Ben Smith didn't even go a full inning and he gave up 4 earned runs. So yeah, not good against anybody, and that's been the story all year with this team. Extra base hits came often for Oklahoma. Gamble with a double, Willits with a double, Drew Dickerson and Dawson Willis both with doubles. Trey Gamble actually had a 2 home run night, so he was superb with 6 RBIs. This is for Oklahoma, this is exactly what you wanted with how you've been playing recently, to get Missouri like this and get these wins in, because now they are really starting to shoot up into maybe, hosting territory if they go through this really well. So we'll see how the rest of the weekend folds out, but I would continue to allow the offense to get right like this, because you're going to need it in some of your series later, like when you play Georgia at Foley Field, like I mentioned, and things like that. So great night for Oklahoma offensively, huge get right win, and it continues. Well, they've been getting right for a while, so that just continued tonight.
Yeah, this game was close. This game was tied at 3 after the first 4, and then once Missouri made the change to the bullpen, that's just where kind of the bottom fell out for the Tigers. Mm-hmm. Isn't it funny how it works, just one way or the other, just with certain teams around the league, Oklahoma being one of those? Like, they were struggling on offense for a good 2.5 weeks there, and then now like they're clicking. I know. Obviously, they're playing Mizzou, and they put up how many hits? They ended up with 17 hits tonight. So, but they were good in the midweek against Oklahoma State, and that they were good last weekend. So the offense seems to have found their groove here for the Sooners, and they look good. And yeah, if they keep playing like this, they are definitely going to be in the hosting situation.
I think we've hit everybody but LSU, Alabama.
I think so. Yes. That's
okay,
right.
that was a wild one because Alabama just lit up Cade Anderson in the middle innings. Every time I looked down, the Crimson Tide had hit another home run. Bama was up 5-1. They went Heiberger after who? They started somebody different.
Tyler Fay.
Tyler Fay, and it was going really well for them, and then just the bottom fell out.
Mm-hmm.
But Cade Snell had 2 home runs early. Brady Neal got one against his former team. Bonamalo got one. You know, when you do that against Cade Anderson, you're feeling pretty well. And then LSU started chipping away, and Stephen Milam hit a 3-run bomb in the 7th, and I think that was pretty much it, guys.
Yeah, it'd been a while, but I'm so happy it happened because it just goes to show how clutch and how when the lights come on, how good Stephen Milam is. You know, I said that about certain games earlier in the year, and it happened again. This stings really bad for Alabama because you've been reeling and you really were in control of this game, even with Cade Anderson throwing 10 strikeouts, and somehow you let this get away, and LSU puts up what was it, 7? Well, I guess all 11 runs all 11 runs, or 10 of the 11 runs, sorry, in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning. So you let it get away late, and it really sucks for them, and you really kind of have to find a way to get at least a win here in Baton Rouge to really keep yourselves from falling toward the back of the SEC.
Well, this game kind of turned. I texted you guys when it happened. Alabama's first base coach got ejected, and it was just like a whole lot of fireworks really out of nowhere, and it got super intense, super emotional. And then after that, just like everything favored LSU. Like that's when they started to hit the home runs and get on base and really create the separation. So Alabama looked like they were in control, looked like they were in business, and then one of their coaches gets tossed, and then just LSU has run away with it.
Yeah, that's at least the second time Alabama's had a coach toss because Vaughn got tossed against Tennessee. But I think the complaint they felt they were getting squeezed on ball strike calls, right? That appeared to be the deal.
Yeah, and also Cade Snell had a 2 home run night, and you can't win when that happens. And he does that. That's brutal night for the Crimson Tide. I mean, considering how good you were playing, and it just fell away. I mean, after Heiberger, none of their pitchers, and they brought out 5, and none of them could record a full inning. It was all 1 or 2 outs from them. So they just had nothing after the Milam 3-run shot.
Yeah, this was a big bounce back performance for LSU, assuming they're able to hold on. Like offensively, they just haven't really been there the past 4 games or so, and this was a big bounce back performance for them.
Yeah, I think if you're LSU, you would have preferred not to use Case and Evans in that spot. But I think when they brought him in, it was a close game, so that's probably appropriate. I think if you know your offense is going to explode, you probably hold him. They didn't use Zach Cowan. They got 92 pitches out of Cade Anderson, went 5 2/3, and then went to Mayers and Benj, who are not, 2 of their heavy arms. I think for Alabama, JT Black would have been so good for them earlier in the year. He's really been hit his last few times out. The starting pitching outside of Riley Quick has been really wonky for them. And I think Quick goes tomorrow, right?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I think they really need a good start out of him. Because you would have been feeling really good about this if you're Alabama, coming out of Baton Rouge beating Cade Anderson on a Thursday night. And for a minute, it looked like that's where it was headed.
Because then, if they would have won tonight, all the pressure's on LSU.
Right.
how would they have responded to handle that? So,
Yeah.
again, the turning point of this one, coach gets tossed and all LSU the rest of the way.
Yeah. Okay, let's wrap it up. I'll hit some stuff in the comments. I think the big things, the Spencer injury, if you guys are watching, the claim is it was just soreness, so that's good. Rylan Zaborowski, because see how that ankle is. I didn't think that was serious, but it was kind of weird. They pulled him in the middle of the inning defensively, so there was that. I mean, Georgia's got. The thing about Georgia's got so many bats off the bench. They got Ryan Black, who I thought would be a bigger deal for them, and Christian Adams. They were those guys from Arlington and FAU that I thought would start for them, but the other guys hit so well, they didn't need it. So I think Georgia's still got enough. I mean, of course, it's got more than enough hitting depth, but that's something to watch. Those were two big health-related items coming out of tonight. Let's do player and team of the night. We'll do medal stand in a minute. But I'll give you guys a second to filibuster so we can come up with our picks.
Caden, you were asking about can we touch A&M Arkansas? I promise you we did. If you want to go back and watch later. I think I got mine. Are we starting players?
We'll do. I'm going to need a minute for both.
Okay.
Graham, you need a minute?
I think I got my. I'm going to go co-players.
Well, we'll do three.
Okay. I got two players. give me a second to find a third one.
I got my gold is, I think, easy for me.
Okay, I'll start with you on your players.
Okay. Gold, Weston Moss. I really think that was that was crazy good what he did against that Arkansas lineup in Baum-Walker Stadium. The ability to eat innings like that, get a bunch of strikeouts, and Arkansas was faced by what he was doing. So I have him in the gold spot. This next guy, I think you could put him gold if you wanted to. I'm going to put him close silver, though. It's going to be J.D. Thompson. Crazy good night from him. 14 strikeouts. Absolutely held that really good explosive Georgia lineup down. Super stoked with what he did. And then I'm going to go Max Grubbs for bronze. I feel like on a night where the pitching was pretty prime, looking at some of the final scores here, he gets to be on here too with what he did. Very good out of the bullpen. Obviously, that unfortunate thing happened with Jared Spencer with the soreness. And he comes in and, doesn't really get too phased by that, where Auburn could have really struck. So, yeah, that's mine. I'm going to go Moss, Thompson, Grubbs.
Okay, mine's going to be a little different. My gold, I'm going to go Stone for South Carolina, just with what he did. Complete game, only struck out 4, but did it with around 85 pitches. He was sensational, didn't walk anybody, didn't hit anybody. So again, his ERA in SEC games was above 10, and that was a huge victory for South Carolina tonight. So Stone is my gold. My silver's Thompson for Vandy. 8 innings, 14 strikeouts against a ranked team. So mission accomplished for him. And then my bronze, I'm going to go with Snell for Alabama. I know they're not going to win, but anytime you go 2 for 4 and hit 2 home runs in Alex Box, that's a good day at the office.
Yeah, I'm going Thompson 1, edging out Stone. Georgia is just so hard to top, and he strike out 14. That was a level of dominance I didn't see coming. I'm going to go Stone 2nd. Anytime you throw an 86-pitch complete game against an offense like Ole Miss's, that's an outstanding night. And Alfred, I'm going to go with Weston Moss. You shut down Arkansas in a spot like that with that lineup in that ballpark. That was an ace evening for them. Cade Snell would be probably honorable mention. And Trey Gamble also hit 2 home runs, knocked in 6. So those are guys that could consider. All right, medal stand for teams, Alfred, Graham, and then me.
All right. Gold, Texas A&M. That was, you had been kind of on the upward trajectory, obviously, but this was a huge test going to Arkansas, a team who is arguably the most complete and best team in baseball. Sorry, Texas fans, you're right there with them. But for conversation's sake, Arkansas is right there, and Texas A&M goes in and gets it done. This was a huge tone setter for this series. You do it against Zach Root, who has been just as good on Friday nights as anyone in the country. They definitely deserve my gold here. My silver, Vanderbilt. I think, after, some maybe topsy-turvy SEC play, you welcome in Georgia, who hits the lights out of everybody. And you do your JD Thompson comes out, does his job, and you win a pitcher fest, which they played exactly into Vandy's hands. So for that reason, I'm putting Tim Corbin in the doors in silver. And then I'm going to go South Carolina for the bronze. I'll give them their flowers where I didn't give Brandon Stone his flowers. I think that this was a team that was sort of just right with Missouri at the bottom of the league. Things didn't look good. You were welcoming in Ole Miss, who was coming off the Tennessee series loss, looking for revenge. Didn't really think there would be any way South Carolina could win this series. Now they're a game away from doing it after tonight. So huge stuff for the Gamecocks and Paul Maneri. Very big game for them and their season. So Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, gold, silver, bronze.
Yeah, I got the same teams, a little bit of a different order. My gold, I'm going to go with A&M. They stay hot. This is 8 wins in a row, and you do it against one of the best teams in the country in their ballpark in Arkansas. So they scored first, they grabbed the lead first, and then they just kind of chipped away at it as the game went on. So they got the big home run in the 9th inning for a little bit of cushion. So A&M gets my gold. My silver, South Carolina. Remember how they looked last weekend, especially game 3, just that loss. To blow a double-digit lead against A&M and then to respond what they did tonight at home, that kind of shows a lot about their character. So they get my silver, and then my bronze is going to be Vandy. Again, just get the job done, mostly with the pitching. Hawks, whenever he's on the mound, you got to feel good if you're a Vandy fan. So Commodores get my bronze, and they're in good shape the rest of the way this weekend.
I'm going A&M first. A&M had its backs against the wall after that start. Really needed to get the opener tonight. Went and did it in a place where nobody is winning. So A&M gets my gold. I was Texas, Vandy, silver, bronze. I went Texas for this reason. You beat Sam Dutton, which nobody's been doing, and you did it with the Jared Spencer deal. Not only did you to have him exit in the 3rd inning, but, anytime a star like that gets hurt, it kind of takes the wind out of everybody's sails. The bullpen was nails, got clutch hitting. So I'll give it to Texas for cooling off a red-hot Auburn team, and then Vandy for a really good performance in what I thought was kind of a bad matchup for Vanderbilt, but pitching prevailed tonight. So Jim Dillingham, kind of new to the channel, been good to us. Reminds us tomorrow starting at noon, Oklahoma, Missouri, due to weather. So we'll keep an eye. I feel like weather's been an issue every weekend, guys.
I think Arkansas is a doubleheader too now.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I wish there was a way we didn't play baseball this weekend, period. But at least we're not playing a bunch of games Easter Sunday. So,
but Chris, we'll lose money if we do that. We can't do that.
Well, we would. I say we start playing, I don't know, doubleheaders on Thursday or something, and
right,
and maybe a game on Good Friday in the morning. I don't know, but in any case, that's not happening. So anyway, parting thoughts, gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, we'll look to tomorrow, give you the pitching matchups before we leave.
Yeah. My final thoughts, great night for those who love good pitching. Kind of nice to see that. Chris, you say this all the time. Graham, you do too. You guys have watched the sport longer than me. In a time where college baseball is offense, tonight was kind of an outlier for the most part with kind of the pitching performances we saw from everybody. So that was pretty awesome to see. Also not SEC related, but I feel like it's worth mentioning. Thoughts and prayers to Florida State University. I'm sure everyone saw news of that today. Baseball, as well as other athletics for them, got canceled. They had a series with Virginia. That's obviously not happening after that today. So, again, not SEC related, but thought it would be worth mentioning. Thoughts and prayers to everyone involved in Tallahassee. Never want to see that.
Yeah, that's well said, Alfred. And I'm same way, just thinking about everybody in the Tallahassee and Florida State community. I can't imagine. So definitely thoughts and prayers.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one of my takeaways, like anytime all three of us like pick the same team to win the series, I feel like it's an adventure. So like Jay's looking like a smart man, and he zigged while we zagged in our selections this morning.
Okay, here's your starting pitchers for tomorrow. 3 Central SEC plus, Riley Maddox and Jake McCoy in Columbia, South Carolina. Vanderbilt and Georgia, we've got, 6 Central. Georgia, I don't think has announced a starter, Cody Bowker for Vanderbilt, right-hander. I think we had Jim updated us on the time, and doubleheader tomorrow for Missouri. So it'd be Kyson Witherspoon and Caden Jacoby, I guess, in game 1. Malachi Witherspoon and TBD in game 2. Who else did you say had moved games up, Graham?
Arkansas.
Okay, I'll get to them in a minute. And
LSU got announced it on social media.
Okay, Riley Quick and Anthony Ianson and down in Baton Rouge, 6 Central SEC plus. Doubleheader tomorrow in Fayetteville. Your matchups are Justin Lampkin and Gage Wood, Miles Patton and Landon Beetleshees. I never get that right. Beetleshees, I think, is it. Anyway, that's terrific pitching matchups in that one. Auburn and Texas, looks like we've got tomorrow Cade Fisher for Auburn, Luke Harrison for Texas. And then Tennessee starts tomorrow against Kentucky. Do we have Nate? Is it Nate Harris and Liam Doyle? Is that where we settled? Or is Kentucky even announced?
It'll be Liam Doyle. Kentucky, I'm not sure, but
okay.
I would go off. Actually, I won't say that. We'll see with Kentucky.
With Nate Harris last week. And then Florida, Mississippi State. Florida had not announced its, correct?
Liam Peterson. I would go ahead and assume. Yeah,
I would think. And then probably game 2 would be the freshman whose name escapes me, Aiden King. State is going to go in this order: Friday, Pico Cone, Evan Sierra, Saturday, Carson Liggins, Sunday. So there are your matchups for the rest of the weekend. Excuse me. Good grief. We will not be here tomorrow. Taking Good Friday off. I know we'll be in services tomorrow night. And Saturday, we will do a recap at night of the whole weekend and of Saturday's games. And then Monday back with Power Rankings. So not the usual broadcast schedule. Usually would be reacting after all the games, including a Sunday night stream. But with the Easter holiday, Good Friday and Easter Sunday, we've decided to take a break for that and spend time with family and what's important for us. So anyway, you guys are important too. We're really glad you're here. We thank you for watching. If you liked it, leave us a thumbs up, tell a friend. And if you would do this, please go find us where you get your audio podcasts. Leave us a nice rating, 5 stars if you like it, and some comments. That helps us get found. We're trying to expand those platforms a little bit too. So we would appreciate if you do that. All right, for Alfred Esmond and Graham Doty, I'm Chris Lee, your host here at Southeastern 16. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful Easter weekend, and we will see you on Saturday evening.